sports.
We are sports. We are Southeast.
Many years you covered first base for the Yankees. You were in there every day. No matter how many runs they were ahead or behind, giving all you had. You will live long in baseball. I congratulate you.
Fans.
For the past 2 weeks.
For the past 2 weeks.
Past 2 weeks.
You've been reading about
You have been reading about the bad break.
I got.
Yet today,
Today, I consider myself
I consider myself
the luckiest man
the luckiest man
The luckiest man.
the luckiest
on
man
the face of the earth.
On the face of the earth.
on the face of the earth. On the face of the earth.
That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
There is nothing more American than the 4th of July and Major League Baseball. And what a treat for us. We join you from New York, where so many great 4th of July memories have taken place. And who knows what memories will be made today between the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Chip and Joe, special day here in New York. It's the 4th, and we're facing the Yankees. How about that?
You and I are both Atlanta doodle dandies, but I tell you what, that open gave me goosebumps with the guys reciting Lou Gehrig's speech, so it is a great day.
Yeah, 79 years ago today, the Yankee first baseman made that remarkable speech right across the street at Old Yankee Stadium. It is a very special day. The Braves try to take 2 out of 3 here in New York. They have a magnificent on-field ceremony about to get started as Atlanta meets the Yankees in the middle series of this 3-city road trip, which takes us next to Milwaukee. And, Joe, it'd be nice for the Braves to steal this one from CC Sabathia and get on the airplane in good fashion.
Well, both he and Julio Teheran are coming off good starts. They're pitching good baseball. It's been a good series. It's been a back-and-forth long ball fest, really, in this ballpark. So hopefully today Julio can keep the ball in the ballpark and give his offense a chance to give him some support.
And Joey's coming off a great start last time out against the Cardinals. 6 innings of shutout ball at Busch Stadium.
With a new delivery, squared up to home plate, not falling off the mound. It was at the suggestion of Anibal Sanchez that he cut down on that follow-through, and it's really helped him with his command.
And it won't be an easy opponent for Atlanta because CC Sabathia is the man on the mound. As you see, Julio Teheran's last 6 starts, very good work. Sabathia, though, a big man who pitches big in big games for the Yankees. He's really been a workhorse and a team leader.
Yeah, big is an understatement. He's listed at 300 pounds. People around the Yankees will tell you that's about 25 to 30 pounds light. He is 37 years old. He's closing in on 3,000 career strikeouts. He's still tough. He's also made some adjustments. He's not the power pitcher he used to be, but he throws a lot of cutters. He's very good at home. He doesn't walk many guys, and he does a pretty good job himself of keeping the ball in the ballpark. It should be a good ball game to watch.
And Joe, as we've said, it is early July, but there are some who think this might be a little taste of October as the Braves, with one of the best records in the National League, Yankees neck and neck with Boston in the AL East.
If it is, it's a great preview because these first 2 games have been fun to watch. They've been exciting. Both teams have had their marks, had their points to make their point to the other ball clubs. So let's hope that continues today in the Braves' favor.
You got it. It's a beautiful afternoon for baseball. Lady Liberty shining brightly. The stars are shining brightly too. It's Game 3, Braves and Yankees baseball from the Bronx. Coming up next. PA voice of the New York Yankees, Paul Olden.
United States Army Garrison Color Guard. Now, please welcome the vocalist for the West Point Band, United States Army Master Sergeant Mary Kay Messenger. She will now sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Master Sergeant Mary Kay Messenger with our national anthem in New York. Lineup's first pitch, Braves-Yankees baseball right around the corner. July tradition, the big hot dog eating contest, I think, is taking place over in Coney Island. We'll get you the winner of that. We'll see who eats the most hot dogs in our booth today between Joe and me. As you see our checkers weather forecast, it feels like 103 degrees. It is hot. It is humid. We'll see if CC Sabathia has the right stuff for New York against the Braves in Game 3.
It is high. It is hot. It is humid. CC, 37 years old, 6'6", 300 plus. Home starts, 3-1, 254. Really good.
And his first pitch of the day is right there for a strike, says Chad Fairchild, and we are underway.
His fastball is more in the high 80s, low 90s now, but a lot of cutters, sliders, change-ups, a lot of two-seamers.
And a line drive into center field for Ender, a leadoff single. So Game 3 starts the same way Game 2 did, a base hit for the Atlanta leadoff man. And the Braves lineup looks this way for Brian Snitker. The Atlanta club trying to win their 5th game on the road trip and their 50th overall game. Ozzie Albies bats second on the Toyota starting lineup card. Freeman, Markakis, Suzuki, Acuna in the lineup as the Braves DH.
Braves are 19-9 in day games, and they are 14-12 against left-handed starters.
So here's Ozzie Albies, 7 hits on the road trip. And he's looking for his 100th hit of the year. Did you know that the Atlanta Braves have never had 3 players with 100 or more hits before the All-Star break? Well, Freddy Freeman is there. Nick Markakis is there. It's almost a sure thing. Ozzie's going to get there too.
That would be amazing.
Not this time, though, as this one's popped into shallow center. On comes Aaron Hicks, and he gallops in for the first out. That brings up Freddy Freeman.
Only 3 guys in the lineup have faced CC before. Freddie is just 0 for 3. Markakis and Suzuki have a lot of at-bats against him and some good success.
It stands to reason their days in the American League. As Freddie takes outside, ball 1. Joe, you seeing signs that Freddie's beginning to come out of this extended offensive drought that started on or about Father's Day?
Well, the strikeouts have been cut back. That helps. He's putting the ball in play better than he was. I think he's tracking the ball a little better. So that's a good sign.
Well, he had 1 hit last night, and were it not for a remarkable play by Didi Gregorius, he would have had another bullet up the middle. And that play proved to be perhaps a game saver for the Yankees, for Nick Markakis, followed with a home run in the 7th inning that would have tied the game had Freddie reached. And this one's dribbled toward first. The throw to second is just in time. Enciarte called out, and a little collision between Ender and Gregorius. And Bird makes the throw to second to get the lead runner, and that's the second out.
It was a smart play by Bird. Spin and throw, but it was a bad throw. Didi saved him and had to hurdle Ender in the process. Ooh, that had to hurt. Coming down on him.
So here's Nick Markakis, as Joe said. Lots of head-to-head matchups with Sabathia. This is Nick's 72nd career at bat against CC. And he takes a called strike.
A little different guy than he faced when he was with Baltimore, though. This guy was such a power pitcher. Not so much anymore. 83 innings pitched, 66 strikeouts. He used to be at least a strikeout per inning pitched.
At over 2,900 major league strikeouts, that's most among all active pitchers. He is 88 away from 3,000 for his career. Heck, he might be the last guy that gets 3,000 for a long time. Two quick strikes from Markakis. Freeman at first, the pitch. And that hit him. And Markakis is sent to first base. That really hurt. Could hear Nick utter in pain as he makes his way to first base. He got plunked on a 2-strike count to keep the inning alive. Let's see where it got him.
Well, I'm hoping it got the meaty part of his arm and not his hand. Oh boy, right above the wrist.
So the inning continues for Kurt Suzuki, who's had a good series. He's got 3 hits, 11 career hits against Sabathia, 4 homers. One of those here would be sweet indeed, as Sabathia drops in ball 1.
That's the 7th batter that Sabathia has plunked this year. By far the most on their team. Tehran has the most for the Braves with 4.
Nick still flexing that right hand and wrist as he takes his lead at first base. Now Sabathia brings the 1-0, which is way high. 2 balls, no strikes.
I mentioned that he's not striking out as many as he used to. He's not walking a ton of guys either. Only 21 walks in 83 innings. 10 home runs allowed. This is where he's been at his best, though, Chip. I mean, he's got an assortment of pitches to call on. But with runners in scoring position, he's allowing just a 176 average. That's 3rd best in the American League.
That's how you pitch to a 3.02 ERA in a league that has the extra hitter. Two balls, 1 strike. Kurt didn't chase. And now it's 3-1.
Sure would be nice to get a 2-out run or 2 here in the first inning, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Braves have scored 48 runs in the first inning this year. They score a lot of 2-out runs for Brian Snitker. They've got Freeman at second, and the 3-1 is low, ball 4. So a forced play, a hit batsman on an 0-2 pitch, and now a rare Sabathia walk loads him up for Acuna. And Ronald, the DH today, is riding a 4-game hitting streak.
Now, he hasn't seen Sabathia, obviously, nor vice versa, but I would sure like to see Ronald get a good pitch to hit here after a hit batsman and a walk.
Small sample size for Acuna, who's hitting .244 against left-handed pitchers, .273 overall. He got a good one to hit. He just missed it.
Yep.
Ronald has 3 hits in this series. The pitch is up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. The biggest of those 3 hits, the 2-run homer in the 11th inning in Game 1. He almost fell down. He swung so hard there. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes. And here it is. Fastball chased up and out of the zone, and Acuna and the Braves are out of luck in the first inning. Atlanta loads the bases with 2 outs, but Acuna strikes out. Sabathia survives a scoreless top of the first. Tehran goes to work. Joe looking to put together back-to-back excellent starts on this road trip.
He's only faced the Yankees one time, Chip, and he'd just soon forget about that. It was a couple of years ago, so we won't even talk about it. We'll talk instead about the line he had against the Cardinals. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts in 6 innings of shutout baseball in St. Louis against that good Cardinal ball club. 27 years old, 6'2", 205. His 4 keys to pitching success today. Number 1, square. Be square to the plate like you were in St. Louis. Follow through, square up to home plate. He had great results with that delivery, and conditioning will certainly be a part of today's game. The quicker he can get through the innings, the better in this heat and humidity.
As we showed you on our checkers weather, heat index of 103. It's probably a lot hotter than that down on the playing surface as Brett Gardner leads off. Gardner at 251, 5 homers, 21 driven in. He has 1 hit in the series, but has been walked 3 times by the Braves. And Julio's first of the day is up and away at 89 miles an hour. Ball 1. Gardner, Judge, and Aaron Hicks, the first 3 for Aaron Boone's 55 and 28 Yankees, who are trying to chase down the Red Sox. Red Sox are helping the Braves today. They're beating Washington 2-0. That game's in the 7th. They always start early on the 4th of July in Washington because of the big fireworks show at the National Mall. Later on tonight, the pitch.
Yeah, I think they started that game at 11 o'clock.
That's correct. One ball, 2 strikes for Gardner, and strike 3 at the knees. Julio off to a good start. So Gardner's retired on strikes for the 51st time this year. Hopefully more of that for Julio as the Yankees lineup features the 2 massive sluggers, Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. Aaron Hicks nestled between, hitting third. Gregorius, Torres back in the lineup. Bird, Higashioka behind the plate. Neil Walker batting 9th at third base on their Toyota lineup card. It's a good pitch from Julio at 91.
Doesn't he look smoother?
Sure does. Yeah, the first inning in St. Louis, I think you pointed out at the time, as the jury box is full for Judge. He seemed very uncomfortable with the new delivery. He seemed very tentative in it. It was almost like he was thinking it instead of just doing it.
Yes, I agree. And then it got easier as the game went along. On a ball, a big influence.
No appeal for Judge as Julio strikes him out looking.
That's 2 guys in a row that were already headed to the dugout before we saw the umpire make a call.
So 2 strikeouts looking for Tehran to start the day. And now Aaron Hicks, the batter. He's been a tough out for the Braves. A couple of hits, a homer, a couple of RBIs. And he too has been walked twice. What a thrill it's got to be for a guy like Hicks. You're playing center field, hitting third for the Yankees on the 4th of July. How good is that?
That's pretty good. You're going good on that one, man.
And he's a good player. Swing and a miss. And as you said, Joe, this is a guy that has had to battle all kinds of injuries. Well, he's healthy and nestled right in the middle of this lineup where he's done some good damage. 15 homers. One of 5 Yankees with 15 or more homers before the break. And Julio just struck out the side. How impressive was that on the 4th of July? 3 up, 3 down for Tehran. The Braves are coming up in the 2nd inning on a hot, muggy day.
Happy 4th of July. Well, one of my favorite pitchers is on the mound today. That's former teammate CC Sabathia with the Indians. Always gives back here, great in the community. Why? Well, he grew up with the Boys and Girls Club. He was drafted in 1998, and many thought he was going to be a first-rounder as a hitter. But he threw so hard, he was drafted as a pitcher. They brought him into the minor leagues, and the pitching coach says, how do you hold your two-seamer? He said, two-seamer, what's that? I just grab the ball like this. Back to you guys.
Don't think, just throw. And it certainly has worked out for Sabathia, who has the most wins since the start of the 2001 season, most innings, most strikeouts, and among active players, most complete games. Broken bat to third off the bat of Camargo, and the toss across in time retires Johan Camargo here in the second inning.
I had the pleasure of meeting CC Sabathia one winter at a off-season function and got to talk to him a little bit, get to know him a little bit. Couldn't be a nicer guy. If the term gentle giant applies to anyone, it is to him. And talking to people around the Yankee camp today, they're saying that all the players migrate to him. All races, all ages, doesn't matter. He's their guy. There's no official captain with Jeter gone, but if there was, he would be the guy.
Well, as Paul mentioned, teammates in Cleveland. He also had a pit stop in Milwaukee before he came to the Yankees as a free agent. Bouncing ball again to the left side. Walker's got it. Perfect throw. 2 outs. That 2008 Milwaukee team had a great club. All CC Sabathia did was go 11-2 in 17 starts for him that year. But he lost his only playoff appearance against the Phillies when they got him for 5 runs in 3 2/3 innings. Then signed with the Yankees. First 2 years, 40 wins, 15 losses. His first 2 years in pinstripes. And then another 19-win year in 2011.
How many years has he been with them?
He signed in 2009. So this is his 10th year with New York. He has 125 wins, 76 losses with New York.
It's a pretty good signing.
Bounced foul and out of play.
His body is such that he does have a knee that's problematic. His arm is in good shape. Question is, how long does he want to pitch? Again, he's 37 out of Vallejo, California.
He's 2 strikes ahead of Dansby here with nobody on. The pitch fouled straight back. Well, I'd like to see him get to 3,000 strikeouts personally. That is a remarkable number. As we said, 242 career wins. Looks like 300 is going to be out of reach for him. The pitch just missed the corner. He thought it was good enough. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That was a pretty good one.
So maybe a swing on the house for Dansby. Lights are on here in New York with the heat and haze. The 1-2. That one a little further off the plate.
Those were both breaking balls, but his 2 outs to the on the ground balls to the left side were both real good cutters and on the hands of Camargo and Culberson.
If you're a Yankee, it's a rule you have to throw a cutter.
Yes.
2-2. Out of play, right side. Sabathia's postseason record: 10 wins, 6 losses, 22 starts, a .420 earned run average. With his Yankees club playing so great, he's got a great chance to improve those numbers in the playoffs this year. But he's gone full to Dansby after jumping ahead with 2 quick strikes.
There's a lot of double knit in that uniform. About a bolt.
There's a bolt off the bat of Dansby Swanson. That's the second Atlanta hit. Nice comeback for the Braves shortstop, who started the sequence in an 0-2 count, worked it full and didn't miss his pitch. That's 2 Atlanta hits and the 5th Braves base runner already.
Had a solid single his last time up last night. Starts today's game with another knock after falling behind in the count. Good at bat.
Braves have the top batting average in Major League Baseball against left-handed pitching at .275 as a team. They've got 2 hits their first time through the order. And Ender's bid for hit number 3 is driven towards center. And Hicks will catch that to retire the side. No runs, a hit, a man left. Braves have left 4 through 2 scoreless turns. Again from New York, it's game 3 of this Braves Yankees extravaganza. Atlanta trying to get out of town with 2 out of 3 against the high-flying Bronx Bombers, who have been bombing away in the first 2 games. But they couldn't make contact against Julio in the first, Joe. He struck out the side and did it rather easily on just 10 pitches.
Yeah, and the first 2 strikeouts were fastballs that Gardner and Judge took right there, and then Hicks chased a bad slider.
So here's Giancarlo Stanton, the designated hitter for New York. He and Julio have matched up a lot, and it's really been feast or famine for Stanton, who is 5 for 35 against Julio with 12 strikeouts, but of those 5 hits, 3 of them were homers. So we'll see what gives here in the home second. And out of play. Quickly 0-2. Julio's got a good fastball today. As you said a few starts ago, Joe, when that heater's at 91, 92, occasional 93, it's when he is at his best.
I don't know that he hit 92 or 93 in St. Louis. He has today.
And out of his last 12 pitches, that's the first one that wasn't a strike. So far so good for Julio. Bases empty. For Giancarlo Stanton with that closed batting stance. And a little dribbler hit toward first. Freeman's got it. Race to the bag. Perfect feed. And Julio got there in time for the first out.
Well, we've said it before about Julio. He is one of the best athletes on the team. And I can say that without flinching, because he not only does he field his position well, and certainly a Gold Glove candidate in that category, but he's a good bunter. He can swing the bat if you let him swing away. Good all-around baseball player.
And he faces Didi Gregorius, the Yankees shortstop, who has a hit and an RBI in the first 2 games and is batting .252 for the year. Whoever plays shortstop for the next couple of decades in New York is always going to be overshadowed, fairly or not, by what Derek Jeter did here. And the play he made last night was somewhat Jeter-esque off the bat of Freddy Freeman. A must-make play and a must-make situation on a ball that I'm guessing 13 or 14 other shortstops in the American League don't make the play on.
All I know is the Braves manager after the game was raving about Didi Gregorius and what a good player he is.
No balls, 2 strikes. Shift on for him with 3 defenders on the right side, and Gregorius spoils the shift. That ball takes an awkward hop off the wall, and that long bounce will allow Gregorius to reach second with a stand-up double on an 0-2 pitch.
There's been a lot of talk about shifts and whether they should be outlawed, and why don't hitters make adjustments and try to go the other way and beat the shift, particularly left-handers. Well, here's a guy just took a little off his swing, 0-2, and got a double out of it.
Yeah, one prominent sports agent went so far as to say they're unfair. Poppycock. Here's Torres. Torres 7 for 15 at the plate on the homestand for New York. And Julio misses downstairs, ball 1. 3 hits, a walk, and 2 runs in game 1. Somewhat surprisingly, he didn't start last night, but did come in the 8th inning defensively. He did not get an at bat. And Julio in the stretch for the first time has a 2-0 count. Now Julio starting to look at his pitching hand, a similar problem that Sean Newcomb faced last night. Sean just could not get dry. His uniform we showed you last evening was soaked through almost immediately. Perspiration was pouring off the bill of his cap as well. And that's one question that fans ask all the time. What is a pitcher to do when you can't grip the baseball? Sometimes they're slick, sometimes they're not rubbed up with the mud very well. Sometimes it's so hot and humid they can't feel their fingertips. That's a strike. Torres was on his way to first base. Full count.
That was a good pitch. Outside corner. Chad Fairchild's not going to take too kindly to that. In front of 45,000 or 50,000 here at Yankee Stadium to have Torres walking.
And a swing and a miss. Julio changed speeds with that delivery. And he has his 4th strikeout already. 2 outs.
Great comeback. 3-0 count. Come back, strike him out, make him look bad doing it. That was ball 4, but Torres couldn't lay off. Good pitch, good location.
And that'll bring up Greg Bird, the Yankees first baseman, who missed a lot of time with ankle surgery. Bird hitting 198.
Julio's given up a .238 average against him with runners in scoring position, but only 179 with 2 out in this situation.
23 of his 41 walks have come to left-handed batters.
Well, and lest we forget his first inning troubles, they weren't here today.
No, you're right. Giving up 15 runs in 16 starts in the opening inning, but threw 10 pitches and struck out the side to start the day. So far, excellent work for Tehran on the trip. Let's get this guy and get the 2, 3, 4 hitters up for the Braves in the third against Sabathia. Gregorius, the man at second. A 2-strike, 1-out double. That was fouled off Fairchild's mask.
And off the thumbs of Bird.
Hey, check out the umpire's mask.
That's nice.
Love it.
Hot day, you get that concussion on the mask. You're already probably a little dizzy, and that makes you a little wobblier.
And that was not a glancing blow. I mean, that was right to the center of the face gear. So Bird now 2 balls, 2 strikes. And up and away for a full count. You got Higashioka, the catcher, coming up. He's only 2 for 13 at the plate. However, he's hit 2 homers in the last 3 games for the Yankees. So Julio's ready. Here comes his payoff. And fouled back. Good cut.
Another good fastball. 93.
Bird's a homegrown Yankee, 5th round pick in 2011. I told you on the opening game of the series, born in Memphis, grew up in Colorado. He was the Colorado High School Player of the Year in 2011. Pitch is hit sharply into right field, a base hit, and that'll score Gregorius. So the Yankees strike first, a 2-out single by Greg Bird.
Not a fastball. I couldn't tell what the pitch was, but it was off speed. Looked like just a changeup. It was a changeup grip, but it stayed in the center of the plate. Didn't sink much. He got it.
And that's RBI number 9. And now Higashioka's coming up with a runner at first, and the Yankees in front. New York's 39-5 this year when they score first. And a little low, ball 1. Washington bats bottom 8th, trailing 2-0 at home to the Red Sox. The Phillies play later on this afternoon. They tip off at 4:05 Eastern Time. And the Phillies will have Aaron Nola on the mound today. This will be the final Phillies home game leading up to the All-Star break. The 2-0 pitch. And a swing and a miss. And so while the Braves schedule gets very, very tough leading up to the All-Star break, the exact opposite is true for the Phillies. They play a lot of losing teams leading into the Midsummer Classic. The race between first and second in our division now 2.5 games. With the Braves in first place, of course, the 2-1 count. And missed high, ball 3. That's hammered down the left field line, and that's exactly what he's been trying to do at the plate.
He's pretty tough on anything middle of the plate in.
And a swing and a miss retires the side, but the Yankees cash in a couple of 2-strike hits. Greg Bird with a 2-out single brings home Gregorius.
Nothing, top of the third. Well, a lot of discussion with this heat and mugginess over how pitchers can control gripping the baseball when sweat's running down their arm. Here's a few keys. Number one, if you're a starter, you expect to throw 9 innings, then bring out 9 shirts. Change each shirt in the middle of the game. Number two, hold the rosin bag, and I mean get some good rosin on there. Let it dry up, and if your hand gets sweaty, step off, go grab the rosin bag again. And finally, some of my pitchers in Kansas City, if they wore short sleeve shirts, used to shave their arms and spray them with antiperspirant. That's correct. Guys, you cannot get that info on a computer.
No, sir. No, sir. That's not in any analytics. That is awesome.
Now, Paul,
antiperspirant on their arm to keep their arms from sweating.
Makes total sense, right?
Can't wear wristbands.
As Ozzie bats, he popped out. Sabathia has a 1-0 lead. He cracks this one towards center. Hicks is on the run. Look at that ball carry near the fence, and Hicks caught it a step shy of the wall. He had to go a long way to catch that ball, and for a minute I didn't think he was going to get there. But a lunge at the last moment retires Albies.
You know, we've been critical of the short porch in right field and what a joke it is here at Yankee Stadium. But that is no joke out there. That's at least the 3rd ball an Atlanta Brave has hit to the center field wall that would be a homer at SunTrust Park, and not here.
So Hicks tracks it down, 1 out for Freddy Freeman, who bounced softly to a force play his first time up. Paul, were there any other means that you would use to try to keep dry on a sticky day like this? Were there any combinations that you'd use besides the rosin?
Because it stopped the sweat running down their arms, so they would wear sleeves. Some guys hated wearing sleeves because normally it makes you hotter. We saw Fulte go through that a little bit in St. Louis. The main thing, I think, more than the sweat is just staying hydrated. If you get thirsty, it's too late. So you're constantly drinking, and that's when you get out in the heat and you get more sweat. But those were the main tips that I knew. I don't see our guys going to the rosin bag as much as I would like to see them. You know, so not sure why on that one.
Well, let me ask you a question about that. Sometimes that's a bad combo, a lot of rosin and sweat, because of blister problems from the friction. Would you agree?
Freddie Freeman gets hit, and CC Sabathia is not afraid to pitch inside to left-hand hitters. He's nailed Markakis, now he's nailed Freeman, and let's see where this got Freddie. Hope it's not the wrist, which has been a target the last 2 years.
He's hanging his arm. I hope it's elbow, like it got the nerve. Yep. Right near the ulnar nerve, just caused it to go to sleep.
And that may be a situation where most pitchers miss arm side when the ball does slide out of their hand. Joe, you asked me a question about the rosin being a bad combination for blisters, and you are correct. When you use the sweat and you use the rosin, it starts to build up, and it can actually cause you to have a blister or tear some of your skin. So you have to be conscious of that every couple innings. If you need to, you get rubbing alcohol, you clean the caked rosin so it's combined with the sweat off of your fingers, and then you start the process all over again.
Last night, Paul, after the game, Brian Snitker was saying that Sean Newcomb was frustrated because he said, I felt better than I felt all year, and I just could not hang on to the baseball. And he tried everything. Nothing worked. And we could see evidence of that. The ball was flying all over the place. There was a poll taken recently, and one of the questions was, should pitchers be allowed to use pine tar for a little more grip, for grip purposes? And it was largely approved, saying yes, not just by pitchers but by hitters too.
And I can understand why. It can't be a comfortable at bat standing in the box with a man throwing 95 miles an hour, and he has no idea where the ball's going because he can't feel it.
Right.
But in lieu of pine tar, why not allow there to be a towel placed right by the rosin bag?
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%, Chip. I think that rule should be changed immediately.
Double play ball. Close, and they got him. And that will end the inning. Sabathia pitches around a hit batsman. Nick Markakis and the Braves double up and trail 1-0. Also stop and pause and remember the brave men and women of our military and what they do for us, and allow us to celebrate together with our national pastime. What better place than Yankee Stadium? We mentioned so many historic moments have taken place in this franchise's history, and specifically on this date. Saw that wonderful tease video put together by our cinematographer Sean Farnham, talking about Lou Gehrig's famous luckiest man speech delivered on this date in 1939. Neil Walker leads off and takes low, ball one.
Freddie Freeman walked all the way to his position after he brought his glove. He did not throw the ball around to the infielders. He had them play catch among themselves. He did not make a throw. I have not seen him even attempt to bend his arm.
Lined over Albies and into right field, a base hit. So Walker has a leadoff single, first leadoff man on for the Yankees, and we go back to the top and Brett Gardner.
His first hit of the series. He had been 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts.
You got to pay attention if you're a base runner here. If it's hit sharply into right and you're playing shallow, you can make that throw to first base. And trying to erase a man hoping for a single. Nick too deep for a play to retire Walker. Gardner struck out looking to start his day. And ducked under that pitch. Gardner's a little light in the pocket. He's a little upset. Major League Baseball's fined him for the pace of play rules. He was consistently slow getting in and out of the batter's box in April and May. He's been docked a couple $1,000.
Good.
Popped up. And he'll be 0 for 2. Back to first is Walker. There's the opening out of the inning.
They should do it. Should do it. Top 10 most wanted post office thing, you know, send it around to baseball, put it in every clubhouse. Brett Gardner, $2,000. Didn't get in the box.
Well, I don't think it's
be a warning.
I don't think it's going to bother him too much. He's got an option for $12.5 million next year.
He'll be okay.
Yeah.
I know they show that jury box. Do those people have tomahawks? Is that what they have?
I wish it were.
Okay.
As Judge struck out his first time up. And takes off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. One of the iconic shots from our game last night was Judge and Freddie Freeman standing together at first base. Aaron Judge looked like the college senior. Freddie looked like the skinny freshman who was on campus for the first time before he'd got to the sports training table. And a strike. And look, this kid burst on the scene in New York, had a marvelous year last year. And as great as he was on the field, we're told he's even better off. Rookie of the year last year, 52nd home run, or 52 homer season. 33 of those homers here at Yankee Stadium. And he's down to his last strike. We're in the New York third. Yankees lead 1-0 on a Greg Bird base hit that brought home Didi Gregorius. And Judge is down on strikes for the second time. That's 6 for Julio. Walker still at first.
Boy, look at that target. Great setup by Kurt on the outside corner, and that was so Maddox-like. It's like Eddie Perez sitting back there, never had to move his glove. Bingo.
Hicks with 2 outs takes a little low. Kurt did something on that play too. His body was in the strike zone as well, not just the glove.
Good target.
So Tehran struck out 4 Cardinals in 6 innings, has struck out 6 Yankees in the first 3 today. He's not through the third yet. Good stop and a fake to first. And Hicks now ahead 3 balls, no strikes with Stanton waiting on deck.
This is an interesting call here for Aaron Boone. 3-0. You got one of your hottest hitters up there. He's hit 4 homers and 2 doubles in the last 3 games. But you got Stanton on deck. I'm going to cut him loose.
Letting him swing. And another called strike. Torres disputed a called strike in the 2nd inning and later struck out after Julio fell way behind. Now it's 3-1 to the Yankees center fielder. The 3-1 pitch. And Hicks took an extra look back. That one off the plate, and it's the first walk for Tehran. He'll face Stanton, against whom he's retired 31 of 36 times. They've squared off.
Shift on for him with Ozzie really moved up the middle and Freddie more or less by himself on the right side. The only thing that I would never think twice about this, except I don't know if Freddie can throw if he's got to go to his left and somehow toss the ball to second base or throw back to Julio.
2 on, 2 out. And a swing and a miss. Just watching Freddie standing at first base, that right arm is hardly moving at all.
No, he has not flexed it like a curl to bend his arm up since he got hit.
And now Julio ahead of Stanton. No balls, 2 strikes. Giancarlo has struck out 113 times this year. Judge has struck out 113 times.
Freddie just now started kind of moving it back and forth and raising it up a little bit, so that's a good sign.
Stanton ready. Here comes the 0-2. Driven to right. A line drive homer for Stanton on an 0-2 pitch. It was not high, it was not far, but it is gone, and the Yankees lead by 4.
Fastball 2. But it stayed right there, didn't move. He was going for that same pitch that he struck Judge out on. Stanton covered it, and he hit it into the second level of seats in right field. There was nothing cheap about that one.
So it's 4-0 New York in front. Both run-scoring hits with 2 strike counts. And Didi Gregorius stands in with the Yankees up 4-0. Stanton with his 21st homer, now 51 runs batted in.
Well, it's not just an 0-2 homer, it's a 3-run 0-2 homer.
The Braves have to dig out of a big hole for the 2nd straight game. They trailed 6-0 last night after 4 innings. Scored 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th to trail by a run, and then it was Stanton again with a 2-run homer to put it out of reach. One would think today that Aroldis Chapman will not be available, but you would think Dellin Betances and David Robertson could be, if needed, behind CC Sabathia today. And a squibber trickling down the line that kisses off the lip of the grass, and it's a foul ball. Gregorius will come back to first, and he'll face a 2-2 count. Well, that's what they brought Stanton to New York to do. In Miami, that's maybe a line drive off the wall or caught on the warning track. But not so here.
Did you see where that landed? That landed above the Modell sign out there. Yeah.
I didn't see it go that far.
Oh, yeah.
And I take that back. It was far. And it was a line drive. And a no-doubter once it left his bat here. And he has made good use of the right field porch in his first season with the Yankees. Now Gregorius fouls one off his foot and lays down across home plate. That hurt.
Back foot. Now Gregorius was part of that threesome in Curacao with Andrelton Simmons,
Kenley Jansen. Jansen was the catcher when Simmons pitched, and Gregorius played shortstop.
As he said, I only got to play shortstop when Andrelton pitched.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that moved his feet. A full count. So leadoff hit, then 2 quick outs. The walk to Hicks on a 3-1 pitch. Julio got ahead of Stanton quickly, and Giancarlo didn't miss the next one and rifled a home run. His second of the series and second in as many days. To right. Markakis backpedals and he makes the play. So the Yankees get a 3-run homer from Giancarlo Stanton, a rising line drive, and he's not going to miss those too often. Stanton's 4th career homer against Julio makes it 4-0 Yankees. For the military community. Yankees 4, Braves nothing after 3. RBI hits from Bird and Giancarlo Stanton off Julio Teheran. Kurt Suzuki will lead off the Braves 4th. Kurt's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
Good numbers here. He loves this place. Reach base every time he's played in a game here.
And already a walk today. Braves had a chance against Sabathia in the first inning, loading the bases, but Ronald Acuna struck out. Acuna next, then Johan Camargo. Sabathia looking for his 6th win of the year and his 243rd in his career. And it's bounced toward third and out of play. Strike 2. So here's a man, Joe, that's approaching 3,000 strikeouts. He's in the top 16, 17 all-time in punch-outs. 242 wins. You know what I'm going to ask you? Is this guy a Hall of Fame pitcher?
I think he's quite possibly a Hall of Fame pitcher. I think he's got a Cy Young award too.
Back in 2007. He's made the All-Star team 6 times. He's been the MVP of the ALCS. And in this era where starting pitchers don't work a lot of innings anymore, more innings pitched than anybody else since 2001. Driven down the right field line. If that stays fair, Kurt's in business. No such luck. It's 1-2. Sabathia had 11 wins or more in each of his first 13 seasons. There are only 4 pitchers in the modern era to accomplish that feat, including Don Sutton and Tom Seaver. One ball, 2 strikes for Suzuki, who didn't get it. And Kurtz retired on strikes. 2 of those for Sabathia.
Took a little off.
68 strikeouts on the year.
He's pitching using his cutter a lot. That time just took a little off. 84 miles an hour. He's learned a few things along the way, and like we said, he's reinvented himself. Doesn't throw 97 anymore.
Sabathia is 3rd all-time in strikeouts by left-handed pitchers in the history of the game.
Is that right?
Randy Johnson's 1st, Steve Carlton 2nd, Sabathia 3rd, Mickey Lolich 4th, Frank Tanana 5th.
Well, the first 2 are in the Hall of Fame.
One of his victims was Acuna in the 1st inning. And that's always the interesting debate. Is Sabathia among the greatest of the great, or is Sabathia one of the great pitchers in the era in which he pitched?
Well, I think that's what you're measured against every time. Should be. How did you measure up against your contemporaries?
Fly ball to left and playable for Gardner. And Brett's got that. 2 outs. That Cy Young award for Sabathia, his crowning moment with the Indians, the 2nd Indian to win the Cy Young award, joining Gaylord Perry. Up until the 2007 season. Corey Kluber has since won it, of course. But a remarkable pitcher. And as you said, Joe, it's been fun watching the evolution of Sabathia from a guy that just lit up the radar gun to a man that really pitches. Much like what we're seeing from Julio Teheran in 2018. Off the plate, 2 balls, no strikes for Camargo. Johan will try to extend his hitting streak. It's at 9 games and counting. He's 14 for 39 in that stretch. And rolled foul, 2-1. Last chance for the Nationals. They're batting in the 9th inning. Boston's leading them 3-0.
Rodriguez started that game for Boston. Went 7.
If Washington loses that game, they'll be a game under 500. Nobody saw that on the 4th of July. And that's inside.
Has Ryan Zimmerman come back yet?
Nope.
I know they have Murphy back.
He has not. Remember, he had that interesting spring training regimen where I think he had 1, maybe 2 at bats in big league games all spring. Full count. In fact, I read something the other day that just as out of an abundance of caution, they had Bryce Harper taking ground balls at first base.
Maybe you ought to catch. He was a catcher coming out of high school and college.
payoff pitch is off the plate. Camargo took a long look, and he's at first with 2 outs. Second walk for Sabathia, who's also hit 2 batters, and the inning continues for Charlie Culberson.
Braves had Sabathia on the ropes in the first inning, bases loaded, and couldn't break through. You only hope that that's not one of those get him now or don't get him scenarios.
And again, the luxury for all these Yankee starters, if they have the lead, they know they can go 6 and turn it over to the bullpen and have an excellent chance to win the game.
That's a good cutter he's throwing. It's got a lot of lateral movement. He can throw it for a strike, or he can start it on the inside third and have it break in off the plate on your hands like that.
Wow. Bat splintered lengthwise, and that is going to take care of Culberson and the Braves. Camargo left stranded after the 2-out walk. Shutdown inning for Sabathia. He's up 4-0 on the 4th. We saw him grab a bat and head down the tunnel, maybe to take some swings off the tee, but that's not the case. Hit by a pitch from CC Sabathia. The arm was hanging for a while. That caught him flush. Bent at the waist in between innings. Did not take a throw on the infield. Did not do but 1 or 2 arm curls defensively, and has had to come out of the game.
Did you see what he did there when he was trying to put his hand on his knee? It was almost like he was having to use his body to try to swing his hand up to his knee, and then it wouldn't stay there. Scary.
So we'll update you on Freddy's condition as we are notified by the Braves training staff. Charlie Culberson takes over at first. Danny Santana's in left. And Gleyber Torres, who struck out his first time, leads off for New York. Just listening to that replay lets you hear how solidly that ball hit the back of Freddy's arm. That was not at all a glancing blow. That moves Torres off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tell you, Charlie Culberson's so valuable. It's already his 3rd position in 3 games here. Right field, left field, now first. Played 3rd base in St. Louis.
Four runs on 4 hits for the Yankees. Torres leading off. Bird had one of those run scoring hits. He's next. Then Higashioka, the catcher. Pitch is swung on and missed. Tehran has 7 strikeouts. And that pitch inside might have set up that one beautifully. 1 up, 1 down.
Well, all he can do now is just hold him best he can and hope the Braves can put something together against Sabathia.
I know Freddie doesn't like to wear the elbow guard. I know he doesn't like to wear a wrist guard. He doesn't like to wear a shin guard. Wonder if that'll change. As that's in for a strike.
Depending on how tender that is, and it's obviously really hurting him right now, it might be something he's got to wear for a few days anyway, provided it's not any worse than that.
Lifted towards center. And Ender's going to have plenty of room to make this play. That's the second out. Bird, appropriately enough, flies out. He's 1 for 2, and here's the Yankee catcher who struck out to end the second. Braves open up a series with the Brewers starting tomorrow night. Milwaukee with a 1-game lead over the Cubs in the National League Central. Braves have announced Max Fried will get the ball tomorrow night. Milwaukee has not yet set their rotation, or at least it wasn't announced yet.
I'm anxious to see Max pitch again and see if he can back up what he did in St. Louis. That was a great effort.
1-0 pitch. Yeah, the hot, sticky weather at Busch Stadium. Double-digit strikeout game against the Cardinals. Took the game into the 7th inning. All impressive work. Two balls, no strikes for the Yankee catcher. And he hits it a mile high toward left. Santana back. That ball is not coming back. This guy keeps it up. He's going to become a cult hero in New York. He started 0 for 22 at the plate. He's hit 3 home runs for the Yankees in the last 4 games. And a towering solo home run with 2 outs.
I'm telling you, that's not where you can pitch him. Target was down and away. He likes the ball up and in. A little bit like Dansby Swanson. He can turn on that pitch up and in. Strikeouts or homers, he's a 2-option guy.
So the Yankees lead 5-0. And Walker the batter, and down a strike. 5 runs on 5 hits. New York just keeps on bombing away. .34 homers in their last 15 home games. And they are on pace to shatter the Major League single-season home run mark. They've hit 143 of them, and it's not the All-Star break yet. And they have a chance to add to those totals. They go to hitter-friendly Toronto next. Then they head to Baltimore and Camden Yards, and then Cleveland. The 1-2 pitch. I'm told Higashioka is the second Yankee in franchise history to have his first 3 hits in pinstripes be homers.
First guy?
Second
guy?
Alfonso Soriano, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Did that in 1999. Walker has to step out. As Julio ponders a 1-2 count. And taken low. Washington's been up for a while. They score still 3-0 in the 9th inning at Nationals Park. Boston leading that game. And ball 4. So 2-out trouble has been a big part of the story for Julio today. Bird had a 2-out hit that scored the first run. Stanton hit a 3-run homer with 2 outs and an 0-2 count. Higashioka gets a home run with 2 outs. Now Walker walks to turn the lineup back over to Brett Gardner. Second walk for Julio in as many innings. Gardner 0 for 2. He is struck out and popped out. And takes a strike.
You know, looking at these Yankees and their roster and all these home runs they are hitting, they have a big team. They are all big men by and large. Gardner, their leadoff guy, might be the slightest of the group, and he's built like a brick.
Hey, you remember the old Bugs Bunny cartoon, the Gas House Gorillas? And the way those guys would swing the telephone pole-sized bats, that's kind of what the Yankees do. There are no weak links for Aaron Boone's offense. Two on. Now 3-1.
You know, Judge is 280, Stanton's 260. They have a wide assortment of 230s.
And you got Severino and Sabathia and Chapman, who's a big, tall man. Amazing. 3-1 pitch. And now back-to-back walks.
Well, he's, after giving up the home run, he started to nibble, trying to pick corners and not make another mistake, and it's cost him 2 walks.
And Chuck Hernandez will make his way to the mound here to give Julio a breather. He's got to deal with Judge now, whom he has struck out twice.
Hey, Paul, back to our conversation earlier about pitching with, you know, and hot heat and humidity. Denny Llewellyn, the Braves AA pitching coach, chimed in on that, and he was talking about back when he pitched and you pitched that, you know, most of the undershirts were cotton and they absorbed the sweat, unlike the new material that is supposed to kind of wick it away, and then you just change the soaked t-shirt between innings. Sound familiar?
It does. I loved pitching in cotton because of that very reason. It would soak up the sweat, and as you say, you could change. Now this new moisture wicking material is lighter, but when you get up where it's over 100 degrees or feels like over 100 in extreme humidity, no, it doesn't soak that up, and there's too much moisture to wick away, and you're left with trouble gripping the baseball.
So I wonder if anybody would think about going back to the cotton. I mean, in worst case scenario, you wear it for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then change shirts.
And it only gets heavy. Cotton only gets heavy when it's wet. So you change it right away. And I don't think the less weight of these new shirts is worth it in these situations.
And I know that's what Sean Newcomb was doing last night was changing shirts and jerseys between innings. They'd take those up and put them in the dryer and bring them back ready for the next inning. I don't think that's been an issue so far today for Julio. I haven't noticed it. Just a couple of mistakes, especially the 0-2 pitch to Stanton was the big one.
Judge almost got kneecapped there. 2 balls and a strike. It's a final. Red Sox have beaten the Nationals 3-0 at Nationals Park. Dave Martinez's club now a game under 500. They've lost 8 of their last 11 games. Tampa Bay and Miami, no score in the 6th inning. They had a marathon game last night.
How long did that one ultimately go?
I heard it was like 16 innings. Is that right?
I know the last I heard it was 15.
It was a 5.5-hour game. I know that. I think it was 16 innings. And Tampa Bay won it 9-6. Tampa got 5 runs in the top of the 16th inning to salt that one away. The Rays are a game over 500. 3-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Judge has the hat trick, and the Yankees a long 4th inning get another home run from their catcher Kyle Higashioka. And manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Fifth inning brought to you by Audi Q5.
Time to go to work. New third baseman Brandon Drury at third. Walker moves to second. Torrey is out of the game. Torres didn't play last night. There was talk that he might be nursing a little bit of an injury, and I think it was a groin that they were concerned about, so they've gotten him out of there today.
With Sabathia on the mound and a 5-run lead, middle innings, we'll see how it works out. Dansby has a hit, one of the 2 Atlanta hits in the game. The other belongs to Ender Inciarte, who waits on deck. And a good rip at that one, fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a late strike 3 call. Swanson is rung up. The signal was late. I'm sure the home plate umpire Chad Fairchild said something, but Dansby is struck out. 3 of those for Sabathia.
Yeah, it was a good pitch. Just took a while for the ring up.
Ender's 1 for 2. And takes a strike. He's got that pitch working very well all of a sudden. 0-2.
Braves made a roster move today. They sent Evan Phillips back to AAA. He did a good job last night, pitching late in the ball game. We'll see him again soon. And Luis Gohara, baby Sabathia, called up. Gohara was scheduled to land around 10 or 10:30, so I'm assuming he's here, but I have not seen him.
One ball, 2 strikes. $5-0 Yankees in the rubber game of the series.
Good hang in there on that one, on that big breaking ball.
Ozzie made a friend in the first row of seats. And another foul away by Inciarte. Ender's first inning single, his 5th hit on the road trip. 4 of those hits have come here at Yankee Stadium. And the 1-2 pitch is bounced foul off his left knee.
It went off his instep last night on his right foot. Now he won't know which leg to limp on.
That'll give Ender and Masahiro Tanaka something to talk about. He's the Yankee starter who blew out both hamstrings running the bases. 1-2 pitch. He is way upstairs, 2-2.
I know what that's like. That's not fun.
Both of them?
Mm-hmm. Foot race on the beach.
Oh, the Simpson Olympics.
Mm-hmm. I'm drowning in the surf and everybody's just standing over me yelling at me.
2-2 pitch. Well, when you have your son, who is apparently the world's leisure sports champion, you got to know your competition, man.
Yeah, I know. It was going to be his first ever foot race victory, spoiled by injury.
So he's got it with an asterisk as the payoff pitch is coming. And Ender coaxes a walk. That was a nice at bat.
Sure was.
So Sabathia has issued 3 walks, all help appreciated. A 10-pitch at bat for Ender brings up Ozzie Albies. He's our Zaxby's indescribably good player.
That's a good 3 weeks work. 15 runs, 12 extra base hits. Great average. He's at 273 coming in. 18 homers. Good grief. We're a little past the actual halfway mark in terms of games played.
Ozzie had a 3-for-46 stretch at the plate at one point as this one's hammered toward left. It's a sinker and it drops in front of Gardner. Ender's on his way to third, and the Braves have him first and third with one out. Albies with hit number 100 on the year, the third Brave to get to the century mark before the All-Star break. That's the first time that's happened in history in Atlanta.
That's awesome. It's like one of the first mistakes CC has made with that cutter today. Started it away and it came right into the barrel, and Ozzie hit it hard. So this is Freddy's spot, but Freddy's out of the game if you just joined us.
Yeah, hit on the elbow by a pitch in the third inning. Stayed in defensively, came out in the fourth, and Danny Santana entered in left field for the Braves. So first and third, one out, and fouled away. Hopefully that 10-pitch at bat by Ender takes a little steam out of Sabathia on this hot 4th of July day. As we have seen in this park, you're only a couple of line drives away from getting right back into it. But you'd better get while the getting's good, because you know the 6th and the 7th inning is lurking, and Aaron Boone has almost all of his bullpen toys to play with if he wants today.
And it's hard to catch up one at a time. So, like Stanton with his 3-run homer, if you can get him in bunches, that helps.
Santana's 2 for 6 in his career at Yankee Stadium. He does have a homer here. Another would be nice. The pitch is bounced slowly towards second. There'll be only one play. It's to first. Ender will score on a ground out, give Santana the RBI. Albies in scoring position. It's now a 5-1 game. There's a start. And here's Nick Markakis. You heard Nick scream in frustration after he got hit by a pitch in the first inning. There is some history with Sabathia and Nick Markakis dating back to Nick's days in Baltimore. He was pitched inside once by Sabathia and it broke his thumb. That was back in 2012. Very similar reaction by Markakis in the first inning after he got plunked on an 0-2 count. Hanging and breaking ball popped into center, but Hicks is there and he's got it to retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. Braves are on the board but still down 4.
By Chevrolet.
find new roads. The Georgia Lottery. And by SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
New York on the 4th of July. Boy, the fireworks will be popping out by the Statue of Liberty later on this evening. That'll be a beautiful display. Sadly, we won't be here to see it. We'll be flying off to Milwaukee, where we open up a series with the Brewers tomorrow night. Julio back out for his 5th inning. 2-out trouble, the story for him today. A couple of homers and a base hit have accounted for all of the Yankee runs. Hicks walked ahead of Stanton's 3-run homer back in the 3rd inning. He leads off the 5th and looks down low at ball 1. After that series with the Brew Crew, Atlanta's back home for the final homestand before the All-Star break. If you have major plans to join us, hope you'll consider coming out to SunTrust Park July 10th and 11th with the Toronto Blue Jays. Then 3 games with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Braves open the second half of the year on the road with the Nationals. And ball 4 to Hicks, the 4th pass of the day issued by Tehran. Giancarlo Stanton took advantage of the first walk issued by Julio on an 0-2 count. He hit a home run. Let's look at it on StatCast, powered by AWS.
410 feet, exit velocity of 111.
Yeah, not a cheapie. You were right. His 21st of the year. One last night still sticks in my craw, though. It was a pop-up. It went right down the line. But there are places to pitch here. You better pitch to right center, to straightaway left. Because down the lines you are asking for big trouble, especially in right field, even for the right-handed hitters. One ball, no strikes. SunTrust Park has a pretty favorable right field fence, but the difference is there's a 16.5-foot wall there.
Had Drew look up ballparks for me today and how many home runs are given up in each place. Good pitch. And this ballpark, since the beginning of 2017, is tied with 2 other ballparks for exactly the same number of homers coming into the start of play today.
Runner goes, got a great jump, and a swing and a miss by Stanton. Hicks steals his 7th base. No chance for Suzuki to make a play there.
Yankee Stadium tied with Camden Yards and Great American Ballpark. 373 entering play today. They've taken the lead with the 2 homers today, followed by Globe Life Park and Citizens Bank Park.
And a strikeout of Stanton. Julio has 9 of those today. 1 on, 1 out.
Got him with the slider, not the fastball. Yeah, you might be surprised to learn that since the beginning of last season, SunTrust Park is 28 out of 30 teams in giving up homers. The only 2 that have given up fewer are PNC Park in Pittsburgh and AT&T Park in San Francisco. Pittsburgh is a deceiving park because it's so vast out in left and left center, and you think it's short in right field, but it's not because of that 21-foot wall.
Right. What surprised me on that graphic is Coors Field wasn't on there.
Coors Field is like 11th or 12th.
Nor is Chase Field in Phoenix, another excellent hitting ballpark. But look at the difference. 130 fewer home runs hit at SunTrust Park since the start of 2017 than Yankee Stadium. Some of that personnel, no questioning that. Some of that is excellent pitching by the Braves, which we've seen this year, keeping the ball in the park. But if you told me that that was going to be the case, Joe, after the first couple of weeks in the new park last year, I'd have said, uh-oh, this is Yankee Stadium too.
I would have said it was going to be a bandbox. And Coors Field is tied for 11th with Angel Stadium. Dodger Stadium surprised me. It's 7th.
Really?
In the most home runs allowed, yeah.
Well, I think Rick Monday and you were talking about that not just this year but last year, about how the ball is jumping in ways that they and you never have seen before.
Yeah, it's really changed. Chase Field in Arizona is 14th, tied with Comerica Park and Nationals Park.
It's the middle of the pack. Another pickoff attempt.
Other people might say Wrigley Field. No, tied for 20th with Citi Field for the Mets.
Yeah, the wind blows across and in Chicago, so another seemingly small park that gets the headlines when the wind blows out.
And more home runs hit at Marlins Park than SunTrust.
2 balls, no strikes for Didi Gregorius. And cued right off the end of the bat, foul toward the Braves dugout. It's 2-1. Well, let's hope the Orioles hit a bunch of home runs off the Phillies and Aaron Nola today. That game starts at 4:05 Eastern time. Braves by 2.5 over Philadelphia in the Eastern race. Phillies have won their last 3 games. They're trying to win their 30th home game. They have more home wins in the National League than anybody else. Only Seattle and the Yankees have as many or more wins on their home field. Nice grab up against the screen.
Nice catch. Tell you, if there weren't a runner on second base, if I were Julio, I'd be tempted to sail one behind Gregorius right over at Brandon Drury, who's standing right behind home plate, sizing Julio up. He's about 30 feet from the on-deck circle.
Remember last year, I think it was, Jerry Davis had an issue with Adrian Beltre of the Texas Rangers for the exact same thing. I'm sort of surprised nobody in the Braves dugout has noticed that and said, hey, get him over in the on-deck circle where he's supposed to be.
Right. He was doing that last night.
Bouncing ball to first. Culberson makes a nice scoop, and the race to the bag is 1, 2 outs. So Drury's first time at the plate today. He'll face Julio, who will pause a moment, catch his breath on this hot afternoon. Picks at third base with 2 outs. Again, this is where the Yankees have done all their damage. 5 runs on 5 hits.
Luis Gohara is here, and he is up throwing in the bullpen, or was ready to go.
Ball 1.
That would be something to have him and Sabathia in the game at the same time.
I'll bet he'd be thrilled to death, especially as much as he admires the Yankees starter. One and one. No word yet on Freddy Freeman and the exact reason for his departure. We know he was hit on the elbow by a pitch and left in the 4th. Pop fly foul back toward us and into the seats. Drury down to his last strike. Hope everybody will be safe on this 4th of July. We'll make our way to Milwaukee afterward. A big fireworks display in Wisconsin tonight, I'm sure. The 1-2 pitch is cut on and missed, and Julio has a double-digit strikeout game against the Yankees. His offense has given him 1 run. They need 4 more to get it tied. We head to the 6th. Game 3.
At Rooms to Go, you can go any way you want. Go style, go savings, go today.
Sabathia with 79 pitches so far in the game. The Braves tagged him for a run on a Danny Santana ground out an inning ago. Kurt Suzuki will lead off. He's walked and struck out. Sabathia has 3 of those in the game. He's held the Braves to just 3 hits. No surprise, he's 3-1 lifetime against Atlanta, and he's gone 7 or more innings in all 4 of his career starts.
His 1 start here against Atlanta was a complete game effort. He only gave up 2 runs.
CeCe's been around a long time. He has beaten every major league team but 1. The Marlins. The only club he has not conquered.
I was thinking about the first time the Braves saw him and faced him was in Cleveland at Progressive Field, and they had another guy cut whose name I can't come up with, a right-hander that was a heck of a 1-2 punch.
Fausto Carmona.
Exactly.
Fausto Carmona.
Way to go.
Who
yeah.
Did he change his name?
I think he did.
I can't remember what that is, but it was Fausto Carmona at the time with Sabathia.
Yeah,
You're right.
Changed his name to Chip, oddly enough. Chip Carmona.
Swing and a miss. Suzuki went fishing again, and that's 4 for Sabathia. And 1 away in the 6th inning. It became Roberto Hernandez. That's right. Thanks, Woody. And Sabathia just rolling merrily along. That's 331 strikeouts against the National League, most among active pitchers. He got Acuna to swing and miss with the bases loaded in the 1st inning for his first strikeout today. Ronald's also flied out to left. Having Acuna serve as the DH does a couple of things. Number 1, it gives him experience as a DH. Never done that before. But secondly, remember, he's coming back from that very serious knee injury Gives him a chance to swing the bat but not have to play in the field. I think Brian Snitker this year has done an excellent job of rotating guys in and out of the lineup, using the DH to keep guys off their feet. And today, no exception with Acuna. Who didn't get that? A ball and 2 strikes.
It's not a full day off, but by comparison, it really is when you're only going to the plate 4 times. I'm sure it did Nick Markakis some good here Monday night, rested his legs.
Did you like DHing? Did you DH?
I did it one time, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we were down to 9 players and I had to. And no.
No?
No.
What was your reason for not liking it?
It was like coming out of the stands and say, hey, your turn to hit, and then you go up concession stand and get a hot dog, and then a couple innings later they say, hey, it's your turn again. You know, it's had that feel.
I mean, I know you're in the game, but I guess what you're saying is that psychologically you almost felt like you weren't.
And you had to be, like a guy like Nick, who is so into the game, offensively, defensively. You know that he's just chewing nails in the dugout waiting for his next chance to go up there, and maybe almost overanalyzing what his last at bat was, where in the field you can't do that.
Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Sabathia, who, as you fear, Joe, Braves didn't get him in the first, and they've had very little luck since.
He's really mixing his pitches well. Upstairs, that's been a place they've gone after Acuna a couple of times. That's how he got him in the first inning with the bases loaded.
So the guys that can DH and do it well over here really are a special breed of player.
They are. They really.
As Camargo bats, Johan 0 for 1 with a walk. Swing and a drive. That's walloped deep to left field, and a goner on the first pitch. 10-game hitting streak for Camargo. That's home run number 9. And the Braves a run closer. It's now 5-2.
We had a home run hit here Monday night that was caught by a Braves fan who refused to throw the ball back. And here comes this one. What a good swing. We got the foot down, stayed back, and great extension.
It took a little while for that fan to decide to throw it back, and when he or she did.
Well, I think it was best 2 out of 3 falls out there trying to figure out whose ball it was.
Well, yeah, but the funny part was when the ball came back on the field, did you see Gardner? He was raising his hands.
Was he clapping?
He was going, all right, way to go. 5-2 now. Culberson bats. He's 0 for 2.
Number 9 for Johan.
All the national media folks who think that third base is a position of need for the Braves haven't been watching Camargo play for the last month. He and Culberson have been a very nice combo over there. As Charlie dumps one into left field, that's down for a hit. He might be thinking too. He is. He's busting towards second. Gardner's throws off target, and it's an out-of-the-box double for Charlie Culberson, and the Braves are making a 6th inning comeback here. Runner at second, 2 outs.
Yankees don't have their bullpen busy, but that might change, especially if Dansby can get that run in.
So Charlie has a hit at Yankee Stadium. Dansby has one too. It came in the 2nd inning, his 2nd of the series. This will be a nice run to pick up. for the Brave shortstop, who's knocked in 32 men so far. And now they'll have a between the plate and mound meeting to go over strategy with Swanson. I think Mike Harkey is standing out in the Yankees bullpen. He's their bullpen coach. Nobody up, nobody throwing yet for New York. With 2 outs in the inning, and the Braves having scored their second run. Now the Yankees have someone playing catch. Green's the first man up. 1 ball, no strikes. I'd love to see Dansby hit one right down the first base line that hugged that line all the way into the right field corner. Bird well off the line. And that caught a corner.
Yeah, he's burning that outside corner now with sliders, not so much with the cutter. That was a cutter, I beg your pardon, not a slider. But he's working him away.
Pitch number 98 for Sabathia. 2 outs in the Atlanta 6th. $46,658 today, the 15th sellout. Next home game, the Yankees will go over 2 million in attendance. 1-2 pitch is taken low, and we'll do it again. Deuces wild for Dansby. Danny Santana with a 5th inning ground out plated the first Braves run. Johan Camargo homered on the first pitch with 2 outs here in the Atlanta 6th. Braves nearly came back from a 6-0 hole last night. They're down 5-0 today. They've scored the last 2 runs. And a good battle here with Swanson. Two balls, 2 strikes. Good take.
Real good take. He's taken a couple of off-speed pitches that he just had to follow right into the ground.
So what is Sabathia going to go to here?
I'm thinking of that pitch that Dansby took on the outside corner. That cutter, the outer half. They come in, they may be paying for it.
Here it is. And it covered.
He did. Got away with that one. Sabathia did.
Aaron Boone, in his first year as the Yankees manager, has an excellent club. The Yankees are trying to win their 19th series out of the last 24 they've played. Braves are trying to come back today and spoil that. Pitch number 9 for Dansby in this at bat. Ground ball slowly hit towards second. It kicked off the side of the mound, and that helped Walker make the play to retire the side. Camargo with a 2-out homer makes it a 5-2 game, middle of the 6th. FS1, first Pogba and teen sensation Mbappe lead France against Uruguay. Then Neymar and Brazil battle Belgium. The World Cup quarterfinals Friday starting at 9 a.m. Eastern on FS1, or stream it all live on the Fox Sports app. So it's veteran Sabathia versus baby Sabathia as we head to the Yankees' 6th.
Luis Gohara made 3 appearances in AAA after he was sent down. 11 innings, 13 strikeouts, 3 walks, gave up a few runs. Got off to a rough start, mostly against San Diego. They knocked him around.
We were told when he last pitched at Gwinnett, his velocity was coming back.
Right.
That first pitch is an indicator of that. I don't think he touched 96 once in his first go-round with the Braves. Well, you know, he's fired up. If Sabathia was his idol, he wants to pitch well in front of him. And he's off to a good start against Bird, quickly ahead 0-2. For Julio Teheran, 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts, and a pair of home runs. The hard part for Julio, all the runs came with 2 outs. Lifted to the left side, Suzuki gives chase, and Kirk won't have a play. It's still 1-2. The 3-run homer for Giancarlo Stanton on the 0-2 pitch really hurt. That came back in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, an 0-2 fastball right there. Certainly not the location he wanted.
So let's see if Gohara can hold him here. The top of the Braves order will be up in the 7th. Line drive to left, and Santana is there to make the play for the first out.
If we just go by what they're listed size wise, the man on the left is listed at 265. Well, we've got them mixed up there. The guy on the left is Sabathia, listed at 300 pounds. Gohara 265. So as big as Luis is, at least on paper, he's still 35 pounds short. I'm going to guess it's more like 50 to 60 pounds short.
Well, he got the first out. Kyle Higashioka, the batter. And his first 3 Yankee hits are homers. Last guy to do that was Alfonso Soriano. He has struck out in his other plate appearance today. And 2 balls, no strikes. And Gary Sanchez, the #1 catcher for the Yankees, wasn't hitting well and has a groin problem, so he's on the disabled list. So New York giving this kid a look at home, and hey, give him credit, he's taking advantage.
I was shocked that he's catching today. This, you know, day game after a night game, I just was sure Romine would be in there.
Told you this kid, Higashioka, real persistent man. 7th round pick in 2008, spent part of 10 years in the minor leagues before getting a chance to come to the majors. And a ground ball foul, full count.
I'm told he has a new nickname. It's, hey, gosh, he's from Oklahoma. I don't know how long that'll last.
Well, we're going to have to find out what John Sterling's home run call is for this guy. John's had 3 tries to figure something out. And it's strike 3 called. 2 up, 2 down. Second time Higashioka is retired on strikes. And Gohara 2 up and 2 men down. Here's Walker. He singled, walked, and scored. Yankees pen continues to work. Might be 6 and out for CC Sabathia with this 5-2 lead. The Yankees pen figures to be in pretty good shape, with the exception of Chapman, who's worked in 3 straight games. Cole worked an inning and 2/3 last night. Adam Warren an inning and a third. You'd figure Betances and Robertson and Shreve would all be good to go today, especially with, I believe the Yankees have an off day tomorrow. Gohara looks good.
It looks sharp.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Had to get up early this morning, catch a flight to New York.
And a swing and a miss. How about that impressive 6th inning? Gohara used all of his pitches effectively and struck out a pair. Top of the order coming up. By Advance Auto Parts. Long a tradition here in New York. The grounds crew, when they rake the infield, does the YMCA dance. Hopefully the Braves will do some exercising on the base paths in the 7th inning now that CC Sabathia is done. Top of the order's coming up in a 5-2 game. And a man the Braves have earlier seen in this series, Chad Green, is the new pitcher.
Groundskeepers are cracking me up. They've even got the 4th of July socks on. Gotta like it. Yeah, this guy's good. He pitched 2 innings Monday night. No hits or runs or walks. Struck out a batter.
So the Braves have 9 outs to get at least 3 runs and get this tied. Ender, Ozzie, and Santana. If you're just joining us, Freddy Freeman hit by a pitched ball in the 3rd inning, had to leave in the 4th. No update on his status.
Green's in the upper 90s with a slider. He's just the start of a long line of big guys coming out of their bullpen who can bring it.
Ender's been on base twice. A 10-pitch at bat in the 5th inning earned him a walk. He came home on Santana's ground out. Green is from Effingham, Illinois High School. Effingham, Illinois is Dan Winkler's hometown. Green went to the University of Louisville. Acquired from the Tigers for Justin Wilson before the 2016 season. Last year, Green terrific. 5-0, a 183 earned run average. And try this on for size. 103 strikeouts, 17 walks, 69 innings. Two balls, two strikes. Good fight here for Ender leading off the inning. Seventh and beyond has been very productive for the Braves. 155 runs from the seventh inning on, including 32 homers. Something about this team always gives you a finish, and that they're doing it against the real tough relief pitchers is real admirable. And what an at bat for Ender. He bangs a base hit up the middle.
He had a good at bat his last time up against Sabathia and earned a walk before scoring the Braves' first run. Good start to the inning. Do some damage against this pen.
And here's Albies. Hit number 100 came for Ozzie in the fifth inning. A trio of Braves have 100 or more hits. And to quote the great Yogi Berra, it is somewhat deja vu all over again for Aaron Boone, the current Yankee manager. They've had the Braves pretty deep in some holes, but it's taken them a lot of extra work to finish burying them. Braves made it 6-5 last night and had some chances to get it tied, couldn't come through. They're down 3 runs here, and that just missed for an even count. Ender's got 22 stolen bases on the year. His 22nd came in the first inning last night. He's going. Good jump, and the pitch is popped up foul. Joe talked about that never quit with Snit feature that we've come to enjoy since he took over as the Braves manager. More comeback wins than any team in the big leagues. See if they can pull it off on the 4th of July. The pitch pop back toward us and overhead. Still 1-2. Braves have 19 comeback victories this year. 7 walk-offs, 11 last at bat wins. Did he go? He did not.
That was close. When they throw Ozzie down and in like that, that back leg collapses left-handed, and it's hard for him to stop his swing. That big leg kick, but able to stop it.
Love that camera angle. Right down the line. You get a perfect view of what Ramon Ortiz ruled a ball. The pitch is shot into right center field. That's going to get down for a hit. So the Braves will bring the tying run to the plate. Back-to-back singles against Green. And it's Danny Santana coming up. 2-hit game for Albies. And here we go in the 7th.
Fought it off. Came in on him, and he just fought it off instead of throwing him something to maybe get him to reach for it. They had him played to pull and tried to pitch to the defense, and he spoiled it.
New York thinks Santana might try to bunt. There's nobody out. A strike and no sign of a bunt. Markakis waits next. Kurt Suzuki to follow.
This is all being dictated by the ballpark, I think. Do you want to try and stay out of the double play, or do you want to let a guy swing away with that porch?
They let him swing away, and it's skied toward left. Gardner near the line is going to make the catch, and no advance. Best of all worlds there for New York. They get the out. They keep the double play in order. No advance of the runners. And now Nick Markakis is coming up.
Nice job by Gardner to get that in quickly, too.
Nick hit a 2-run homer here last night. That got the Braves to within a run. After he was hit by a pitch in the first inning, he hit into a double play in the third and flied out to center in the fifth. Braves trying to put a run or more on Chad Green, who hasn't given up one in his last 11 games. That streak started on May the 25th for him. Two on, now one out.
Like you said, you can't pitch in New York unless you've got a cutter. He doesn't throw one very often, but that looked like one that got in on Nick.
Nick Markakis' batting average with 2 strikes is .282 this year. That is remarkable. The pitch. Ooh, that was close. Might have been a strike.
Yeah.
Green wanted it. You know what the league average is with 2 strikes?
That was pretty close.
170. Amazing. The pitch. It didn't stick in the catcher's glove, and Markakis still alive. So he's hitting 112 points above league average with 2 strikes.
Well, let's see if he can make him pay on that one, getting away with another swing.
The 1-2. Fly ball, pretty well hit. Gardner on the run, still going to the edge of the track. He's got it. Ozzie had to re-tag and scramble back to first as Markakis gave it a ride, but again, deep part of the ballpark, left field here. 2 outs.
So add that one to the list of the last 3 games of balls really hit well by the Braves in that direction and straightaway center.
So after a mound visit, Kurt Suzuki will stand in. Kurt is 0 for 2 with a walk. The 2 outs are swinging strikeouts, and it's been off speed stuff that's had him off stride both times. So not advancing the runner. perhaps cost the Braves a run. That fly ball might have made it a 5-3 game had Inciarte gotten to third base on Santana's at bat. See if Kurt can pick him up here. Double steal. Pitch low, throw high, and almost into left field. And Ron Washington is hollering at Enders, stay right there. He was thinking the ball got by. But the runners move up 90 feet. And a 2-0 count means a single could get you 2 runs.
Great save by Drury. When that left catcher's hands, I thought it was definitely down the left field line. Great save. Well, it's the second time today that Enders had him come down on top of him.
Didi Gregorius got him earlier. That was in the very first inning. So great save by Drury, saves a run, maybe both. And a fly ball hit toward right. Judge back. He's got it. And that retires the side. 2 on, nobody out. The Yankees get out of it. They hold a 5-2 lead on the 4th of July as we stretch here in the Bronx. Seventh inning. Joe, let's take a look at our game summary brought to you by Roads.
Well, the real key to me, Chip, were those last 2 guys, Stanton and Higashioka. The fact that of their 5 runs, all but 1 have come from home runs. Yesterday they scored 8 runs. 5 of them were from home runs. So the difference in this series really has been trying to keep the Yankees in the yard. It seems like an impossible task, and that's the reason they're ahead again today.
And as we've said a couple of times in this series, when you get a chance to score against this club, you'd better do it. And if you fall behind, you'd better catch up fast because their bullpen is lights out. Green just got out of a big mess. Braves played for the big inning. Santana, Markakis, and Suzuki all flied out. The Braves stuck at 2 runs. And now Gohara goes through the top of the order here in the 7th with Gardner, Judge, and Hicks, the scheduled hitters. Gohara looked terrific in the 6th inning, 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. By the way, the other big story in New York sports today, Joey Chestnut was the winner of the hot dog eating competition at Coney Island. 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes. He won the coveted mustard belt title for the 10th time in the last 11 years. Miki Sudo was the women's champion. She downed 37 hot dogs. She won the award for the last 5 consecutive years. Ground ball to second. And that is remarkable work, said the story, considering there was a 91-degree heat index for the coveted 4th of July event.
Well, I'm proud of them. They've got lifetime contracts with Armour Hot Dogs, French's Mustard,
you name
Heinz
it,
Relish,
and Tums.
Well, yeah.
As you see our Synovus Greatness Made Here feature, here are your team leaders and homers. The Yankees with 143 of them, on pace for the single season home run record. Not surprising. Judge a quiet day today, knock on wood, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
They had 8 runs on 8 hits yesterday. They have 5 runs on 5 hits today, largely because of the home runs. You know, so much of the national media comes out of this city. So if you're watching the Yankees play a lot, then you're probably certainly buying into the 3 outcome deal.
Yeah.
Home run, walks, or strikeouts. That's what they do.
Fly ball to right. Hold your breath. Look at that ball carry. That ball is in the 4th row. Straight up, straight down, and straight away to right. It's a home run for Judge.
Inside out swing. He's spinning like he's looking to see where he fouled it off. Not like Stanton did last night.
Well, give their hitters credit. They are tailoring their swings to take advantage of their home park. New York has hit 3 more homers in Game 3. Number 24 for Judge, his 2nd of the series.
They had 6 here the other night right before the Braves came to town against the Red Sox. 3 by Hicks.
So 6 against Boston in that game. Judge hit the only homer in the opener. That gave him 7. 3 last night and 3 today. That's 13 homers in their last 4 games at home. And now Hicks drives one toward left. That ball is carrying, and Santana on the track is there for the out. 2 down. And here's Stanton. He hit a 3-run homer off Julio in the 3rd inning. On this Independence Day, USAA honors those who served and all of our service members at home and abroad. 4th of July not going so well for the Braves, trailing 6-2 in the rubber game of this series. Braves have lost, in fact, 4 consecutive rubber matches. And then it's on to Milwaukee. By the way, I got a note from our pal Tom McCarthy, the terrific voice of the Phillies. They're getting ready to play Baltimore. Not only did Tom say the heat index does not in any way affect his love of hot dogs, I think he wants a one-on-one, mano-a-mano challenge with Joey Chestnut.
I'll take Tom.
Joey Chestnut is Joey the Jaws. We'd have to call him Tom the Teeth McCarthy. Yeah, at least I think they're his.
I'll take Big Mac.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch. And cut on a missed.
I was looking at Aaron Judge. He was drafted out of high school by Oakland in the 31st round. Didn't sign, of course. Went to Fresno State. Signed with the Yankees. Another good job by Gohara. I'll get back to Judge in a minute.
3 strikeouts for Gohara in his first 2 innings of relief.
With the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Delta Airlines. And by your local Ford dealer.
The Yankees batmen are getting it done again today. 3 more home runs for them, and they lead 6-2 after 7. Coors Light and Fox Sports Southeast salute the military on this most American of holidays, the 4th of July. We'd be remiss if we didn't wish our old pal John Sterling, the voice of the Yankees, a very happy birthday. John is celebrating his 80th today behind the microphone here in New York. And he will describe the pitches of Dellin Betances, who becomes the 3rd Yankee pitcher.
Look how star-spangled Susan is, too. John in his red, white, and blue looks great.
He said to be sure to say hi to all of his friends and fans back in Atlanta. You might recall John for so many years was a voice of the Braves and the Atlanta Hawks. And now he's been here with the Yankees, I believe, 27 years. A remarkable run. Word on Freddy Freeman just came in. It was labeled an upper arm contusion.
Hope they did x-rays. This guy can bring it. Betances, big guy, 6'8", 260. Green was in the upper 90s. That's why we're talking about this knockout bullpen they have. Betances 96 to 99 with that curveball you just saw. I started to talk about Judge. He was a 32nd pick in the draft. Late first round, actually in between the first and second round as the 32nd choice.
Swing and a miss. Acuna down on strikes for a 3rd time. 1 up, 1 down.
I had scouts tell me that he lasted that long because they weren't sure if his swing would play with a wooden bat. Always hitting with an aluminum bat in college and high school, of course, that he was big and strong, but they didn't think that he would, at least most of the choices in the first round, would not be worthy of a high first-round pick. There are a lot of teams that would like to rethink that, of course.
You bet. Well, isn't that interesting? Because you have said many times that the theory with the Dodgers is they look for tools, and if you can run or you can throw, or if you're a big, strong kid, they felt that they could teach you how to hit.
Right. Well, his minor league numbers were good. 278 career average in the minors, 56 homers. That was in 2.5 years.
That was quite a draft. First 3 picks certainly is dribbled foul. Mark Apple went to the Astros first. Chris Bryant to the Cubs second. John Gray went to Colorado third. Gray was just sent back to the minor leagues, by the way.
Who was 33rd?
33rd pick in the draft was also a Yankee. It was Ian Clarkin.
Okay, so they go either way.
You know who picked 31st?
No.
The Braves. You know who they took?
No.
Jason Hirsch.
Ow.
Ow. Ow. Ow. Sorry, I didn't want to ruin your 4th of July. 0-2 pitch is bounced foul. Ryan Stanek, who's the opener for the Rays, went 29th. Travis Demerit, who's in the Braves system, was the 30th pick by Texas. J.P. Crawford, 16th. Dominic Smith, 11th. Think about how different the history of the Mets and Yankees might be if New York had taken Aaron Judge and put him at first base instead of taking Dominic Smith. Nothing wrong with Smith, but certainly not off to the start that Aaron Judge is doing in pinstripes.
Well, hindsight's so good.
Yeah, right.
For all of us, but I was trying to give you an explanation of, you know, why did a guy that size, that strength, why did he last so long? And it was just that I don't want to say the consensus of the scouts was that, but obviously there were a lot of teams that felt the same way, that he was just, his game, his swing would not play in the big leagues.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Camargo is down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down. Let's step aside for a game break. So a water cooler pays the price apparently down in Miami as the Marlins shut out Tampa Bay 3-0. That final score.
There's another guy that could be on somebody's radar at the trade deadline, and that's Urania. I know he got off to a bad start, wins and losses, but what an arm. Either as a starter or as a bullpen piece. But this guy, yeah, you don't want to say unhittable, but he gives you the impression he's just unhittable. 99 on the pitch to Camargo. He's got a good breaking ball. He's just nasty.
And just so easy with the motion. Look how smooth that comes out. I mean, Brian Snitker was talking with Aaron Boone and sharing a story with us after the first game. Boone said, Brian Snitker said, well, you brought in one closer, then another closer, and then another closer. And Boone said, yeah, and you got through all of them. And eventually won game 1 in extra innings. But that's the luxury the Yankees have. As Charlie fouls it away. On a day when Chapman doesn't match up well or has been used 2 days before, they could throw Robertson or Betances out there. Heck, Green could close for him if they had to.
Well, that was what was so nice for them today about having Sabathia go 6. They didn't need 4 guys. They only, in theory, needed 3.
How did that miss Culberson?
I don't know. I think it took some stitches off of his number. Trim waistline for Charlie. Kind of like Tom McCarthy in Philadelphia.
Yeah, right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch is hammered down the left field line. Great at bat by Culberson, almost hit by a pitch, and he exacts some revenge here. He's got a 2-out double.
Golly, that was impressive. That was a breaking ball. He's throwing 99. He threw that one that almost hit him. He throws a breaking ball at him, and he kind of flinched, but still kept his hands back and dropped the barrel on it. What an impressive at bat by Charlie, the Braves version of CC.
2 doubles for Culberson, giving him 10 of those on the year. And Dansby, the batter, 1 for 3. A second inning single highlights his day. A swinging strike. Only other game in progress at the moment is at Wrigley Field, where the Cubs and Tigers are playing. It's 2-2, bottom of the 5th inning. The Cubs are beginning to roll. Bouncing ball back to the mound. And that'll take care of Dansby and Atlanta in the 8th inning. New York protecting a 6-2 lead in Game 3.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you.
John Sterling, and one of the most infamous moments in Braves history, the Rick Camp game on the 4th of July in 1985. A 19-inning game that lasted until 4 o'clock in the morning on July the 5th. The Mets beat the Braves 16-13. It was a 6-hour and 10-minute game with 1,000 fans left at Fulton County Stadium. They had the fireworks before the sun rose, and all the neighbors around the ballpark thought the Russians were invading. One of the craziest games, not only in Atlanta history, but in Major League history, as we welcome Arodys Vizcaino back. Chance for him to get some work here. Vizcaino back after his stint on the disabled list. (6-2) New York has the lead. Gregorius takes a strike.
It's a great idea here. Get him an inning of work before you get to a spot where you perhaps need him at the end of the game. He'll feel more comfortable. Knock a little rust off.
There were so many crazy things about that July 4th game at Fulton County. There was horrible rain in the area. There were some who thought the game never should have been played. The outfield was an absolute swamp. Rusty Staub played in that game for the Mets. Keith Hernandez, now the New York broadcaster, hit for the cycle in that game. Gary Carter caught all 19 innings and 305 pitches from 7 different Mets hurlers. The Braves were out of position players when Rick Camp hit his home run as a base hit by Gregorius greets Vizcaíno, his second hit of the afternoon. Rick Camp was an .060 hitter. Lenny Dykstra, Howard Johnson, Ray Knight, Danny Heap were some of the Mets in the field when Camp hit that home run. They just were standing around in shock.
Gohara had a good 2 innings, gave up the homer, but no walks and 3 strikeouts. That was a good sign for him that he was throwing strikes.
This one's fouled back by Brandon Drury. 0-1 the count.
And you know he had some incentive with this being a day where Sabathia started. Vizcaíno's last time out was the 17th of June against the Mets, and it was a save. An inning with 2 hits but no runs.
So about 3 weeks for him. Brian Snitker said with Vizcaíno, we'll be a little more careful with how we use him. I think he had 4 appearances in a 5-day stretch with 4 saves earlier this year, and that might have led to some of his shoulder discomfort. Luckily for Atlanta, the emergence of Minter and Winkler gives Brian some other options to close games, kind of like what Aaron Boone has as far as quantity of relievers. That was a good pitch. Drury didn't get that. A ball and 2 strikes.
His last 7 outings, 6 saves and 1 win. And you're right about those numbers so close together, Chip. 13th, 14th, 16th, and 17th of June.
Just missed with a slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Up the middle. Dansby to the bag for 1 and on to first. A beautiful double play.
That was slick.
Dansby's momentum carried him right to the pillow. He stepped on it ahead of Gregorius and threw on to first for the double play.
Just a matter of getting some clearance for that throw, and Gregorius by sliding got out of his way. That helped. It's either that or take one between the eyes. Good play and more good defense up the middle.
What was that stat you had on the Braves defensively since June 1?
Well, through June they made 5 errors as a team and gave up 3 unearned runs.
And I think 1 error so far in July, so 6 errors since June 1st.
Yeah, and I don't know who made those errors. Might have been outfielders, might have been pitchers. Not sure.
So looking ahead to the 9th inning, we'll see who comes on to pitch for New York. They do have action in their bullpen. Chapman is not up and throwing. Atlanta will have the top of the order due, trailing 6-2 in game 3. That's
David Hale on the left.
Yeah, former Brave. Not sure if David has said give me an inning or give me death, but we'll find out.
Well, he's had a funny year. Yankees, he was a Minnesota Twin for one day, DFA'd, free agent, re-signed by the Yankees, been up and down in AAA in the big leagues with New York.
Well, he's hoping to stick with the Yankees, and then I guess he's hoping the Twins somehow find a way to get in the playoffs because he might get 2 shares.
There you go.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Twins got to be a little disappointed. They had high hopes this year. They're in 3rd place in the Central, 11 games back of Cleveland now, and they've lost 5 in a row.
Read a story yesterday that they may be open for business. There's some players that might be out there, free agents to be. Brian Dozier's a name that's been talked about. Remember, he was a target of the LA Dodgers a couple of years ago. So a full count pitch coming for Greg Bird as Vizcaino makes his 15th pitch. And fouled away. I remember Vizcaino was, as a very young man, a member of the Yankees. He was signed by New York on July the 2nd, 2007. So 11 years ago, nearly to the day. The Braves got him in a deal for Javier Vazquez after the 2009 season. And a liner off the glove of Culberson. Bird didn't run, and that's going to cost him as he's out at first base. So Bird saw the ball hit the glove and then stopped running. It popped away from Charlie. He recovered, throws to first, and we head to the 9th.
Braves baseball on Fox Sports Southeast is presented by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
And I'd like to give a shout out to the Atlanta Braves. Go Atlanta Braves!
I'm Sonar Tech, 3rd class, boat tip on board USS Chancellorsville out in the South China Sea. I want to give a shout out to the Braves and the 3 best pitchers to pitch for them, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, and Greg Maddux. Go Braves!
All right, we salute you fine gentlemen as we head to the 9th inning. 6-2. Yankees have the lead. The Braves will send the top of their order up against Jonathan Holder. Holder pitched here in game 1, went 2 innings of 2 hits, shutout ball. Ender 2 hits, a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. Strike 1.
Ender's been on base a lot. He's only scored 1 run, however, as the Braves have only put 2 up. And he's had some good at-bats today. Stolen base in the 7th was his 23rd.
Yeah, he's gotten on base 7 times in the series, so nice work out of the leadoff spot here in the first 3 in New York. And a comebacker. Nice play by Holder, who stretched out and from his knees gets Inciarte for the first out.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
2-hit day for Ozzie Albies. He became the 3rd Brave to reach 100 or more hits before the All-Star break, joining Nick Markakis and Freddy Freeman. Albies 9 hits on the road trip in 27 at-bats.
You hate to look back at the first inning and say that that was a big turning point for a ball club when you're behind 4 in the 9th, but the Braves got a single, were hit by a pitch, and drew a walk against Sabathia but didn't score. Acuna struck out for the last out.
And then they had 2 on, nobody out in the 7th inning with the Braves' Danny Santana, Nick Markakis, and Kurt Suzuki up in what was then a 5-2 game. Couldn't make anything of that. Judge hit a pop-up homer in the 7th to extend the lead to 6-2, and that's where we stand. Two balls and a strike. Lifted toward left. Long run. Gardner. He can't get there. He plays it safely. And it's a 3-hit game for Albies. A single down the left field line.
He'll take that flare. Big day for him. Backdoor cutter right off the end of the bat. I remember I was looking at it a minute ago. The Yankees back in '60 and '61, when they won the World Championship, beat the Giants and they beat the Reds. They had great starting pitching. They didn't need much of a bullpen, but they had one guy, Jim Coates. Do you remember that name at all? Too far back for you. I had his baseball card. That's why I remember. He threw over 140 innings each of those 2 years out of the pen.
High pop fly into shallow right. Judge is in and makes the play.
I think about guys like him and how they would look at today's bullpen activity and how the pen is used and go, I mean, you don't have to throw 4 innings today.
Well, Goose Gossage, Sparky Lyle, I mean, guys that pitched in your era. Yep, it's a different game, no doubt about it. And the Yankees are set up exceptionally well for it. As we've said, they are a 3-outcome team, and they are awfully tough to beat in this park. Home record remarkable, 32-13. They're an out away from winning their 33rd home game. Sabathia was very good over his 6 innings. Looking for his 6th win. He beat the Red Sox in his last start. He's about to go to 4-1 against Atlanta with win number 243 for his career. That barring a 4-run comeback with 2 outs for the Braves in the 9th.
Nick is a guy that got nailed with that pitch in the first inning by Sabathia on an 0-2 count. Hit him on the arm right above the wrist, but he was able to stay in the game.
So the Braves are down to their last strike. 15th sellout crowd of the year. What's left of it on its feet. New York has to win to keep pace with the Red Sox, who won earlier 3-0.
Most all of these fans will now hop on the ferry and head up the East River to Statue of Liberty, where the fireworks will be tonight, right, Anthony?
1 ball and 2 strikes. It's up and away. It's 2-2. Yankees have scored 17 runs in this series. The big story, 12 of the 17 came with 2 outs. And 5 of the 6 here in game 3. They've hit 7 homers in 3 games against the Braves. Albies at second. The pitch is bounced over the mound. Gregorius charges, gloves, grabs, guns, got him. Yankees win 6-2. Your final. They take 2 out of 3 from Atlanta in the middle stop of this 3-city road trip here in early July. Too much firepower for New York. And in 3 hours and 7 minutes, Joe, the Braves will be sent to Milwaukee, where tomorrow night we open up a 4-game set at Miller Park.
Well, the Brewers are another first-place ball club, playing good ball. They've won 2 in a row going into today's game, and 26-17 at home.
So that's your Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. The Yankees are built for Yankee Stadium. 7 homers, 12 2-out runs in the series. Judge, Stanton and company take 2 out of 3 from Atlanta, winning the final by a final score of 6-2. We will recap it for you on Braves Live. A holiday edition of the post-game show is coming up. It's brought to you by Xfinity. For Paul Burt and Joe